Really interesting pylon placement over here by Todd, and that of course with Phoenix he's going to be able to get high ground vision over here. So we'll probably see him whopping in a couple of Zealots.
What?
Wow, Sam.
What? How does he know?
He knew because of the Overlord.
Whoa, Zealots will finish up in the main base though. And the Phoenix is, well, I don't know.
3 Zealots against 2 Queens, and Zergling's probably coming as well.
Yeah, there's actually 3 Queens here. One of them lifted. Sporecrawler also finishing, so Zealot's going to be hard-pressed to get much done. Todd's going to have to rethink this plan.
Sen goes straight away back to droning. We see the production tab 10 drones on the way, so Sen once more is going to have a really, really good economy. I'm a little bit surprised, by the way, that Todd picked Ohana, even though it's an awesome map. And as you said, in Season 2 so far of the Season 3, we've seen a lot of epic PvZs on it. It's also considered quite a hard map against Zerg, so I'm a little bit surprised that he went for Ohana.
Yeah, sort of has the same issues as Belshir Beach in that the third can be kind of difficult to hold. It's a little bit easier because you've got destructible rocks that let you down into that third expansion. As we see Todd just harassing Queens and floating around a little bit, so he's going to make a couple more Spore Crawlers.
I think picking off Queens in general is really good, but since Sen already showed that he had so many Queens, I'm not sure if it's really the right choice. I would rather go for Overlords and Drones. That's exactly what he's going to do right now. Ooh, should be careful, you do not want to lose Phoenixes. Yeah, like this is a nice queen to pick up because it's so easy to pick it up.
Yeah, very exposed queen. Yeah. That one Todd is going to allow to survive. Adding more gateways is Todd, Kev. He's going to be up to 6 gates. But he's also working on those rocks, so we might see an expansion yet.
A +2 and Blink Stalkers are on the way. I'm kind of curious to see, but I do feel that if he wants to go for 2 bases, it's going to be too late. But we'll see. Sen right now already is quite far ahead supply-wise. His economy is better than the one of Todd, but not that much better. Todd is up to 56 probes, so normally if you want to go 2 base all in, I would say 56 is a little bit too many.
Yeah.
And we see that he's still building probes as well, so I think it's very likely, also because he took out these rocks, which normally would make it easier for Sen to counterattack, that Todd is going for 3 bases. But he just doesn't want to have the same thing happening as on Belshire Beach, so he's going to be a bit more careful.
Yeah, he's just going to have lots of units before he takes that third, which is, there's nothing wrong with that. Sen is still producing drones, believe it or not. He's going to be up to about 70 drones after this next rotation. Phoenix is still just kind of scouting around, not doing much else.
Sen perhaps tried to make something happen, but he saw that that was something he can't bump his head into, at least not right now. He doesn't have anything else than a Roach Wine. Also, by the way, man, it's funny, Sen always upgrades some kind of a weird hatchery. It's either his natural or, in this case, even his third base. Kind of wonder what that's all about.
Well, I mean, I can see some of the logic. A layer has more health than a hatch, so there's less chance of losing a layer than a hatch. But at the same time, you don't want to lose that layer, man. You want to keep it safe. So either way, it doesn't look like Sen's at any risk of that at this moment in time, as he does continue powering. 13 roaches at once, take him up to about 175 supply.
He's still going to make more roaches. Sen has quite a bit of money, though, even though he was low on gas. That had a lot to do with the fact that he wasn't using these 2 extractors for quite a while. Todd has a much better scout this game because of all the Phoenixes than he had on Belshire Beach. So in general, he should be able to prepare a lot better and get better army positioning. And we can also see him creating a little bit of a gateway wall here, which would help out a lot against heavy roach tracking. Which I think is going to be the case since we already have 43 roaches. 50 right now. Yeah,
roaches are making their way across the map as the infestation pit goes down for Sen. Also, 4th base going down for Sen. Todd's got 2 immortals and an okay amount of force field, but this is still a really scary army for him to have to deal with.
He does have blink, so he can blink this away. Todd knows this is coming. What is he wiping in? Just more and more stalkers. Only has 1 cannon. It's going to be tough.
Uh-oh. Sen going to come up into the natural with a few units, and I'm sure he'll section off some roaches and send him to the 3rd base. That's exactly what happens.
So smart.
Todd is really going to have to multitask well here. Ling's making their way inside. That immortal is so important. Okay, force fields. Not the best force fields I've ever seen. And this is a really nasty attack by Sen.
So many roaches for Sen. We do have quite a few immortals for Todd, but the supply is dropping heavily.
I like that he's using the Phoenixes to lift up some of these roaches, making it a little bit more manageable, but I don't think Sen minds. He's just going to stay maxed. 14 roaches in production. This wave of the attack will get repelled, but there are more coming behind it.
Phoenixes normally are very nice right now because he could have picked up a couple of additional roaches, but that's not going to work. As you said, Sen is just remaxing on roaches once more. He is actually going to add infestors though, and that's going to make it even harder. And most importantly, Sen is just not stopping.
Yep, Todd needs a good force field. He could really trap a lot of roaches with some decent ones, but Sen is well aware of what's going on. Backs off, repositions once again to try and threaten that 3rd base. and he's buying himself so much time to get that Pathogen Lens upgrade finished. His 4th base has completed, and I would not be surprised to see him saturated here very shortly.
We do have a robotics bay on the map this time for Todd. There it is. I was kind of searching it. So he's going to have Colossus. Right now that's not going to help. Sen just keeps on the pressure. I love this observer, by the way, from Todd. That's so smart. Makes it a little bit easier. Todd actually wants to force a fight. That would surprise me a little bit.
Yep.
Force field.
This is nasty. This push going to make its way up into the natural. What are you doing, Todd? He's really having a tough time picking a fight that he wants to take. He's going to come in from behind these roaches and try to trap them all. But I think he's going to take some really heavy losses in the process. Robo goes down. Cybercore takes a little bit of damage. Now the Roach is going to start working on this Nexus. Probes do evacuate. That's very important, but I don't know if Todd can afford to lose a Nexus, Kev.
Not only the Nexus, also losing the Cybercore, so he's not able to warp in Stalkers right now. He will probably be able to take out all these Roaches, but at what cost? He lost so incredibly much.
And now a couple more Roaches over in the 3rd expansion. Oh, really good force field there on the ramp. So these Roaches are all doomed to die. But Sin is, like we've said before, he's buying himself a lot of time. He's getting more melee upgrades for his Zerglings and ultimately his Broodlings. Hive also on the way. 24 more Roaches queued up.
He needs that as well because, as you mentioned, he is upgrading to Hive right now. So just wants to save time, and he knows he's quite vulnerable for a counterattack right now. Phoenix is really useful. It's going to make it harder for Sen to retreat. Actually, this counter from Todd could get really scary.
Yeah, it was a nice offensive blink by Todd. Picks up a few more Roaches. If we take a look at the army supplies, we can see it's very close. But Sin is building Zerglings and Infestors, which are so good against Todd's army.
Yeah, Todd doesn't really have any vision on the side of Sen either, so Todd can't possibly know if counterattacking is a good idea or not. So he's not going to do it, which means he's eventually going to have to fight Broodlords, and that's going to get really tough.
Yeah, so Sin definitely looking like he's in control of Ohana. See Todd's natural being retaken there. That Nexus about 3/4 of the way done. 6 more gateways going down, as Todd's money did stack up a little bit.
Well, yeah. He needs to recreate the wall, and he lost so much. I'm not sure if he rebuilt his Cybercore. Yeah, he did it in his 3rd base. Interesting choice, since that one has been under a lot of fire as well.
I think we got Phoenix is making their way into the 4th of Sins. He's only a single drone, so
has to be careful because Phoenix is always clump up, and we do have Infestors on the map right now. So losing all 4 Phoenixes at once could be really annoying because he needs those Phoenixes to get more information. Ooh.
Well, Sin's on the move again. Todd knows it because he's got a Stalker out on the map. And this attack going to be a little bit harder to hold than the last one because there's Zerglings in the mix and there's Infestors in the mix. So Todd's going to need some great control, some perfect positioning if he's going to make it further into this late game on Ohana.
He's producing a Colossus once more. If he would have only one Colossus, actually it's going to be a lot easier for him. This time it's a full wall up, so he has more time to respond to this pressure from Sen as well.
Yes, he does. Stalkers starting to march forward. Really needs to be careful not to get fungled, and they do get fungled. That's going to be 6-7 Stalker kills easily. Colossus is building in that wall. He's got to be careful to pop out on the right side. If he pops out in front, he's going to die very, very quickly.
I'm surprised Todd doesn't have a single cannon over here, or at least a few sentries. Now he drops some forces because he did have sentries.
Since Hive is done, Adrenal Glands finishing up, Kev. You know what that means. Also +3. There's some nice force fields by Todd.
Oh, Infestors getting picked up. That's really big right now.
Really nice play picking up those Infestors. Those Phoenixes really paying for themselves here. Only a couple more Infestors remain. Does Todd have energy? Oh, Fungals go down. Those Phoenixes all out of energy. Sin does turn around here as he starts his
almost
fire.
Sen knows, and that's why he's retreating with those Infestors already. Very smart.
And Sin has bought it's just so much time. Second Colossus on its way out. Do we ever finish Thermal Lance? No, we haven't even started Extended Thermal Lance.
Just now.
There it goes.
On the spot then. Look at you.
A couple more Roaches getting picked off. That might have been a miss rally. Todd is macroing really well. His money is, I guess, after dropping those extra gateways, his money has stayed so low. Up to 100. Go ahead.
Despite on there being so much pressure, so that's really noteworthy. But still, it's going to be a big problem for him to take an additional base. And Sen has been quite okay with losing all those Roaches just because he had a superb economy for such a long time. Just right now, he's only down to 66. I guess he made a couple of additional spores or spines somewhere. But he has all those Corruptors, and he has the money to get all those Broodlords out as well. That doesn't necessarily mean that he's going to win, though, because we saw Vibe versus Mana, for instance, on this map. Just one time miscontrolling your Broodlords or yeah, get them exposed a little bit too much, and all those Blink Stalkers could potentially pick him off. Ooh, Phoenix is going to spot those Corruptors, so Todd knows what time it is as well.
Yes, he does, and I really expect to see that Fleet Beacon go down soon. He's going to need the Mothership.
I think it's going to be really hard for Todd to afford it right now. He does have the Stargate already, so that helps out a little bit, but I think he's going to try to win with this army. I don't think he has the economy to go for Fleet Beacon.
If he's going to do it, he has to do it now, because Broodlords are not far away. Greater Spire is complete. Sin's got a lot of money. He might want to use the Corruptors to kill the Colossi first.
He's actually, Sen is maxed out right now, though, so he's going to have to free up a little bit of his army supply. But if he would do it too cost ineffective, he makes himself very vulnerable for a really big counter. This is going to be so interesting.
Yeah, Corruptors do come forward and start working on the Colossi. Good fungal goes down on the Colossus and the Phoenixes, but the Roaches are not trading very well with the Immortals and the Colossi in this army. Todd taking a pretty good fight here. Corruptors are going to float away, and I promise you they'll morph into Broodlords, or they would if he had the money. Sin is broke right now, Kev.
Yeah, he's making 78 Lings and 10 Roaches, but that might actually not be enough. Wow, that would be insane if Todd is going to win this game.
He is making a really nasty push right now. This fourth base is almost certainly going to fall. 2 Broodlords start up, but Sin just hurting for cash right now. And
nice
Todd,
force fields.
beautiful force fields.
I really like those.
Defensive force fields say you shall not engage right now. Todd going to content himself with that pickup. I would like to see Todd continue to push the action, though. I think this is the moment in the game where he's been the strongest.
He just doesn't really know. He does have the Observer. He did spot a few of those Broodlords, but he's afraid to get fungled, but I guess he's still going to go for it because he knows he's running really low on the money. All these mineral fields are pretty much mined out, and of course the main base is mined out as well.
There are actually no infestors on the map right now, Kev. Not a single infestor, which is going to make this army of Todd so much better. Blinking under the Broodlords, and one Broodlord falls immediately. Second one also going down.
Force fields. He's going to need some force fields, though. There are so many Zerglings. Beautiful force fields once more.
Yeah, nice force fields indeed. The Stalkers in the front should really be blinking back, though. No, it's going to be an offensive blink because Todd wants to take out the Broodlords. Immortals making short work of the Roaches. Todd up to 130 supply Colossus. That's not where you want to be, bro, but it doesn't matter because the Stalkers are going to blink forward. Sin plummeting down below 80 supply, and Todd looking pretty good on Ohana.
Well, looking really good right now. Take a look at the income tab. Sen only mining from, well, not barely mining from that. There's a few mineral patches left in his main, but he's pretty much mined out. And
there it is. GG from Sen.
Wow.
Todd goes up 2-1 in the series. This is a best of 7. Winner takes $1,500 home. Loser gets $500 for making the trip out. So nice little show match set up here.
Really impressive victory by Todd. I'm actually really surprised.
Yeah.
Because in a certain moment it looked really over.
It looked
when
grim.
he lost the core, when he lost his second Nexus, was kind of just waiting for the next Roach push. But he got a lot better at splitting up his army. A couple of force fields really helped. That 1 or 2 Colossus helps out so much. Phoenix lifting up those infestors helped out a lot. A lot of minor things. As you always say, Ben, what is StarCraft 2 all about?
Small advantages, because they build up to create big leads and ultimately win you games. So I kind of feel like Sin made a big mistake maxing out.
Yeah, before, because he had the money to get those Broodlords, I do agree, and he was kind of forced to take that fight.
Yeah.
And he couldn't really undercommit, and then he kind of lost everything, and then he didn't really go for the Broodlords anymore because he remaxed on Lings and Roaches. Yeah, I do agree with you on that.
That definitely tilted things a little bit in Todd's favor. He capitalized on it.
Yeah.
So
and those upgrades helped out a lot as well because he had 3-1 for a very long time, and Stalkers were 3-1.
Yeah.
Very good against pretty much every single Zerg unit.
Really, they become much better against Zerglings when they have those upgrades. That game, guys, brought to you by Kingston HyperX. In addition to the prize money, we want to thank Kingston for putting up a 900 gigabyte SSD for the show match winner each week.
I know
90 gigabyte SSD, that is so sick.
After living with Todd in both China and Korea, I can tell you he needs that.
All right, guys.
I'm not going to tell you for what type of files, but Todd could use that. 900 gig will probably cover half his collection.
Man.
He has hobbies.
It's time for a commercial. No going, guys. Game 4 after this. Cheers on command. Ready, set, go. Oh, man. That was... Wow. That is not annoying at all. Thanks again, guys, for coming out. Aside from being here and supporting